Good afternoon, it's meteorologist Michael Fecco. Welcome back to the afternoon weather update. We do this here every day during the workdays and on weekends. We stream it out to all of our streaming platforms, including Facebook and on YouTube. So if you're joining from either place, please feel free to leave us a question or a comment. Hopefully I'll be able to go through them all as I go through the forecast, but if not, I'll go through at the very end and see if I can answer any questions individually for you. But let's get started here with a look at what we're tracking out through the next couple of days. Well, through the rest of this afternoon, expect hot temperatures and plenty of sunshine, even a little bit of a breeze as well. And then we'll have some more unsettled weather take shape, at least through the first half of the work week. So we're talking about additional severe storms possible Monday and on Tuesday, but widespread severe weather still not expected from either day. And I'll break down those details in a moment. But once we get through that cold frontal passage, it looks like we'll still have at least some spotty shower activity through the end of the work week. So it looks rather unsettled, and we'll also be cooling back down to around average by the end of next week as well. So here's a look at our setup right now. It's clear as day out there, hardly even a cloud in the sky within the tri-state. We have some active weather farther off to our northwest through the northern plains and even out towards the mountains, but no issues here in the tri-state. It is just sunny and warm, so definitely get out there and take advantage of it. It is a beautiful afternoon. We've got some puffy cumulus clouds that are trying to bubble up, but of course they're all fair weather clouds, so no rain or thunderstorms expected today. Temperatures have already climbed up mostly into the mid to upper 80s. We may tack on a few more degrees here over the next couple of hours, topping out in the upper 80s, close to 90 degrees in some locations, especially across western Kentucky. And then with clear skies overnight tonight, temperatures will only settle down into the upper 60s to around 70 degrees. And that'll lead us into tomorrow. Still going to be a very warm day, but we have that cold front moving in from the northwest. And while it's still going to be pretty far away from the tri-state by tomorrow, it still may kick up that chance of a few showers and storms well out ahead of it. So we do have that marginal risk for some severe storms on Monday, and then we have a slight risk for severe storms on Tuesday as that front actually pushes in a little bit closer. Our primary hazards tomorrow, if any strong or severe storms develop, would be damaging winds. Can't even rule out some hail. And then on Tuesday, it looks like all hazards may be possible. Primarily still looking at damaging winds and hail, but you can't completely rule out a brief spin-up tornado. So here's a look at each of those threats individually. We do have this marginal risk, at least for the northwestern half of the tri-state, south and east of Owensboro. It looks like you just have that general thunderstorm outlook, and then to the north of Princeton and up towards Fairfield, they are clipped by that level 2 slight risk. So a varying degree of potential here for tomorrow. It looks like we'll have kind of this system that's going to be weakening as it pushes in from the northwest into Monday. So the farther south and east you are, the less likelihood you have of severe weather. The farther north and west you are, the better chances of that storm system kind of still having a little bit of steam left to produce a couple of warnings. And then by Tuesday, we're all pretty much included within that level 2 slight risk for some severe thunderstorms. So pretty much everyone at the same threat level there. But here's a look at how this all plays out through Monday. I think this model's going a little bit overboard with what this outlook should be for tomorrow, but regardless, it does show the same idea. We'll have this system moving in from the northwest that's going to be decaying as it pushes through the tri-state, and then it'll also dump a good amount of rain as well. But you'll notice it kind of weakens out right over southeastern portions of the tri-state where they're not as under the gun for that threat. And again, primarily looking at damaging winds and maybe even some hail. Now here's a look at Tuesday, and I think this model's kind of underplaying how Tuesday will evolve, but regardless, we'll see that cold front moving in from the northwest, still kicking up some spotty showers and storms out ahead of it through Tuesday afternoon, and then we may just see plain old rain through the overnight hours into early Wednesday morning before this all kind of tapers off to our south and east by Tuesday afternoon, or Wednesday afternoon, excuse me. But here's a look at the 3-day rainfall forecast, and we'll have a healthy dose headed our way. We may get anywhere between a half an inch up to an inch and a half for most of us. Could see some pockets closer to 2 inches, especially north of I-64, where a lot of those storms will have a lot of steam left as they move in from the northwest. And we do have a marginal threat for some flash flooding. It's going to be fairly isolated. With any thunderstorm that develops, it will be capable of producing some heavy rainfall. So that's more of a localized issue, not a widespread issue. So expect your typical areas that flood during thunderstorms, you know, ponding on roadways, poor drainage areas, low lining areas. You may get some accumulation there before it kind of drains away. So it would be fairly temporary and pretty isolated. So that isn't going to be too much of a widespread threat either. But taking a look even beyond Monday and Tuesday, we'll have some of those lingering showers there into Wednesday morning. And then it looks like outside of a spot shower through Thursday, a lot of us should stay dry even into Friday. But it's not until we get into next weekend that we see some better chances for more showers to kind of lift up from the south. And I think that's mostly due to just the moist and warmer air mass that's going to be settling in. It's not really associated with any frontal systems. It's kind of more of those popcorn type showers and storms that bubble up during the heat of the day and then kind of fall back down as the sun sets. So here's a look at the next 7 days there. Let me go ahead and take a full screen so you can get a better look at it. Again, we'll be on alert here for Monday and on Tuesday. Fairly isolated to scattered severe weather threats, so not a widespread threat, and we're looking at primarily if we do see any strong to severe storms tomorrow, it would be for damaging winds or maybe even some hail. On Tuesday, all hazards may be possible, but still primarily looking at a damaging wind and a hail threat for both days. Now, the threats are a little bit greater across the board for Tuesday, but that doesn't mean you can't get a storm on Monday either. So that's why we put an alert for both days there. So keep that in mind. And then we'll have just some plain old rain showers through Wednesday morning before mostly drying out headed into Thursday. Some more rain works its way back up to the north there Friday night and mainly into next weekend. And temperatures, you'll notice, cool all the way down from the upper 80s for Monday and then down into the low to mid 70s through the middle and end of the work week there before climbing back up into the low 80s for next weekend. So kind of a gradual roller coaster ride here, nothing we can't really handle, but it's going from almost summer-like heat here today and tomorrow to right back to around average by the middle of next week. So that's all I've got here for the forecast. I'm going to hop off the live stream and I'll send you guys over to 14 News at 5 for all the latest news and weather headlines. Until then, everybody, stay safe and have a